What's up, agency owners? Jason Zwike here with another episode of the Smart Agency Masterclass, a podcast for the digital agency owner that wants to scale and grow their agency faster. And on today's episode, I have my good friend Manish back, where we're going to talk about scaling and some of the things that might be holding you back. And we're going to go through what worked for his business and growing so you can do the same thing. Hey, Manish, welcome to the show.
Hey Jason, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be back
Yes.
and looking forward to the conversation today.
Yeah, always enjoy having you on the show. And for the ones that have not checked out the prior episodes, which we'll link up for everyone to go check out, tell us who you are and what do you do?
Uh, I run E2M. It's a mainly white label agency. So we are an agency for agencies. So we help digital agencies to solve bandwidth problems with our white label services. Started E2M 10 years back. As we speak, we work with like 150 plus agencies all across the US and another part of the world, and we have a team size of 170 plus experts.
Wow, that's great. And let's talk about kind of what were thinking back when you started your agency. What was some of the things that you wish you have done differently when you were starting to build the team? Right, everyone listening has a team. They're trying to grow
Yeah,
it, but they've hit a cap. So
yeah,
if you had to go back to yourself, 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself?
yeah. I think there is a lot. Like uh, founders, specifically agency owners who are kind of self-aware and learn from their mistakes. Right? They always kind of want to look back and see how differently I would have done it. So we would have scaled it even faster, right? So I think as we are talking about scaling, so I would talk more specifically about the building the team, right? So I think it's important that and so this is something I realized later, right? Coincidentally, I did not know this when I started back then. So this is the framework or something I learned, just literally last month, that when you are starting agency or when your agency in a growth phase, you know you wanted to make sure you have a team of generalists first, right? People who are not people who should not be tied to a specific role. They should be able to do it like multiple roles within your agency as a part of your growth phase. And then once you have the right set of generalist people in your leadership, then you start hiring specialists in order to scale, right? So this is something, I would not say that I have done it 100% accurately, because this is the mistake when I was doing when I was hiring, that I was looking for a specialist when I started E2M 10 years back. Even in the early growth phase, I always thought that, like, we wanted to have a specific specialist for specific operation. And that kind of, like, what happens that there are two things are happening when you are going into that route, specifically in the initial stage, or like during a growth phase, right? uh, One thing is, absolutely, you are hiring more people because you are kind of like trying to find a specialist for a specific division. And in a growth phase, you are putting more money and kind of diluting your profit, and that is affecting your cash flow. And also you have to manage more people, right? Instead, you think, like, how you can hire a generalist where you can look for the traits the person has, who can do a multiple roles, right? So for example, if you are trying to build a team of account managers and project managers, so the account manager person can play a role of a customer service as well, right? And and the project manager, that person can play a role of like a sort of account manager plus project manager, right? So you think, like, how you can combine two roles and hire one generalist, so you are not only saving the cost, but also kind of like it's makes so much easy to manage less people for you, right? So this is something I realized, and now we are scaling. Now it makes sense that, okay, we go after hiring specialists, and right now we are hiring a lot of specialists in different areas. But this is something I would highly recommend, based on my experience, that go for the generalist, in a growth phase, and then hire the specialist when you are ready to scale.
I never really kind of thought about it that way, but when I go back and think about when we were starting and in our growth phase, it was more about we need people to kind of fill all these
Yeah.
different roles. And a buddy of mine, Dan Martell, wrote a really cool book, "Buy Back Your Time," and
Hmm.
it's kind of the thing, right? Like when you're hiring these generalists, you're trying to basically get rid of all the stuff. Like I find when I look back at when we had the biggest growth is when I gave up the most job responsibilities of kind of BS tasks, right?
Yeah.
Like I had people doing this and this, and I wanted people that were resourceful but could, shift different positions. And then when we started really scaling, we wanted to bring in those specialists, those practice directors that had ex, the most amazing expertise in this, and people would come to us for that, and then we were able to really
Yeah.
scale fast. So I'd never thought about it that way. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't think many people think of going in the beginning, hire the generalists, and then when you really want that scale, hire the specialist.
I think it comes from the, there is kind of a saying in the industry, right? People are the solution to every problem, right?
They're also the
Whenever
problem
you
to
run
every
into,
problem.
yeah, right, it's kind of like, the people are the, like, cause of problems, and kind of like, the solution too, right? So we always think like, whenever we run into the growth related problems, which are kind of good problems to have, right? We always think like, okay, we need more people. I think this is common for all the businesses. When you, like, in a growing stage, you think like, okay, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to do this. Let's take an example of digital marketing, right? Okay, we want to expand our branding reach. So you said, okay, we need someone in SEO, we need someone in paid advertising, we need someone in social media, we need a content writer as well, right? uh, we need someone as a brand strategist. And then you think like, okay, let's hire the specialist in all these roles, right? And I think, when you are literally starting, it's better to have a one guy, or maybe like two guy, maybe like content writer is a specific position you need to fill up. But at least like for a digital marketing, the one guy can do SEO, PPC, social media, and everything. So you don't only have to explain your brand to just only one person, but you are also saving the cost, right? So this comes from the thought that, uh, okay, when we run into any growth related problems, either we think about like, having, we need more money or more people, right? So we always do not think about, okay, what could be the other way, right? Like how can we do it in a way uh, where, we how about if we hire a generalist, right? And one of the things which, I also learned from that, initially in a growth phase, as an agency owner, you also do not have a lot of time to spend with different people, right? So, and kind of like you said, you come across a lot of activities to be done for your business, uh, where some of the activities might not require someone full time, right? So in that case, once you hire a specialist in an early stage, then you start thinking about, okay, how can I keep this person busy, right? And so let's take an example of social media, someone in social media, right? uh, then okay, you might not have a lot of content to post on social media. It's just you need someone to schedule the post and do few posts a week. Then you are thinking like, okay, let's have someone full time, but there is no need to have someone full time until you reach at a stage where you are producing a tons of content, and you have a really other marketing channels to support and provide content to social media team, right? So this is where I feel like we need to change our there is a need of a mindset shift, that okay, what is the alternative, right? And that way you are saving the cost and you are managing less number of people.
What was the how did you know? Walk us back at the time where you knew you were exiting the growth phase and exiting the scale phase. Like how many
Yes.
employees, kind of like where were you at in your role? Like just so people can go, oh, I'm in that and relate.
Yeah, that's a good question. See, the growth phase is something where you know that you have a lot to improve on every division, and you don't have at least one person who is looking after a specific division, right? So you are still involved into literally every division, right? Where you are technically not free. Without your inputs, the business is not running. So once you reach at a stage which we literally reach like 1 year back, and right now we are at the perfect scaling stage where we have a specific person, generalist, who is taking care of a lot of different items for a one division. So there are multiple generalists we have. So we have one person who is taking care of completely sales and customer services both. There is a one person who is taking care of like as a delivery, look after the project managers, also operation. One person is taking care of like completely entire e-commerce division. So now we reached at a stage, okay, we wanted to hire someone more specialist in marketing, right? uh, so I think you have to think like, okay, and every agency owners know that stage where they know, okay, my business is kind of running without me. There is a decent size of profit we are making. We have a consistent business flow, incoming leads, closing. We are growing at a consistent rate. There are no struggle and any kind of to operate your business, right? At that stage you want to spend time and plan for scaling, and then you want to think like, okay, now what kind of specialists we need in order to scale, right? So I think now since I got the time, uh, we were just having a last week very casual conversation with the team, and we came up with an idea that in the world of AI, we still do a lot of things manually. We are an organization of 170 people. We work with like hundreds of clients, hundreds of projects are going on. There is a lot going on, right? So we literally, uh, kind of like opened up a role which is like organization automation engineer, right? The guy, and we did not have to hire because someone was ready to take the responsibility of that role, which was the guy who is leading our QA team. And he's like, we made him responsible just to audit every division of the organization, every person is doing on a day-to-day basis, and how can we get rid of manual processes, how much automation we can introduce to increase the efficiency. So efficiency is not just about like getting the most out of people, but how many processes, internal day-to-day things which you can automate. So I just give a super simple example. We have let's say 100 of developers, right? uh, every developer is spending 10 minutes every day on something, which means like there are like 1,000 minutes, right? Now what if we identify something automation process which can do that tool process can do that 10 minutes job in literally like 2 minutes, or let's say 5 minutes, or matter of no time, then we are literally saving 16 hours. We are freeing up two developers on a daily basis, right? So I think you reach at that stage when you know, okay, the your organization, your business, your agency is kind of at a stage where it is running on an autonomous mode, where you don't have a struggle. You don't have a struggle in order to have a cash flow, or like in terms of like getting clients and delivery quality. So everything is going really well, right? So that's where you don't want to get in a stagnant stage and get in a comfort stage, but rather you want to think about starting to hire specialists uh, in order to make sure that you are scaling in the right direction.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense, and hopefully that all resonated with everyone listening because there was a lot of really kind of golden nuggets in there. This has all been amazing. Where can people reach out to you guys if they want, help with, some of their outsourced solutions for running their agency so they get some time back?
Yeah, if you are an agency and having like kind of bandwidth problems, if you are looking for a white level partner, then we will be happy to help you. Our website is the best way to reach out to us. It's like e2msolutions.com. uh, I mean, Jason is going to put up the link. We have a special link. We have a special page for smart agency podcast listeners as well. So the website is the best way to reach out to us. And in general, like I'm always, I say, like I'm very obsessed about this entire agency ecosystem. So I'm always up for chat. If you are an agency owner, would like to talk about anything related to agency growth, scaling, will be happy to share my insights, because this is something I've been doing since last 10 years. So we'll be always happy to share insights.
Awesome. Well, Manish, thanks so much for coming on. Everyone, go to their website as I hit the mic. Go check them out. It's funny when you flare your arms around how that mic always gets in the way, but just excited to chat with you. So everyone, go check out their
Likewise.
website and don't have that agency burden anymore. And until next time, have a swank day.